The first thing that he said, he kind of cut down to brass tacks, was tell me everything you know about Rock Hudson.
Well, at the time you weren't cast yet, so he just told me like Rock Hudson. So I was like, cool. And then I remember early on, like I text Ryan one day and was like, who's playing Rock? Like, after he gave me the script, that's what it was. I read the script, saw that it was like he falls in, or there was a connection with Rock Hudson. I was like, who are you thinking of?
Yeah.
And he was like, I really like this guy. I'm being Ryan. I really like this guy, Jake Picking. And he just said your name. So I'm like on Instagram, like looking you up. And I'm like, okay. All right, Mr. Jake Picking.
Yeah.
I look up to a lot of these guys. I mean, the Golden Era, like Rock, and even Paul Newman, James Dean, Marlon Brando. I mean, that's a little later, but I often find myself posing the question, what would the older, kind of stars do,
Did you know that you had gotten the part already? Or was it still like early on? Oh, it was still early.
Yeah, I didn't know. He was just kind of,
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I just had like a large iced coffee from Starbucks too. So I was just like, I don't feel this at all right now. I don't feel it.
I remember we decided to meet up before we started working together, just to talk and catch up and get to know each other, which was great because our first day on set, as you know, was like all of our intimacy, like moments. So like, thank God we had like, I don't know, shake hands, before once.
Yeah, I know, at least once. But I felt like it was good to just get on the same page, to see how, and it was only a few days before, honestly, set. Like we showed up and it was an intimacy, and there was a coordinator, but at that time we had known we were just 1,000% in. We just wanted to pay homage and do the best we could and kind of have the audience feel like flies on a wall, I guess, and just.
I know, I do. I think, having that meeting and just talking about who we were as individuals, as artists, was so helpful. We talked about astrology. We did like all the things. It was like a first date, if you will.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I've said in different interviews is like how much I trust you and had to trust you. Being that our first day on set together, creating these characters was like an intimate moment. It's like I almost had to like free fall and trust that you were going to catch me. I did, and I think because I felt safe with you on screen, working our work relationship, it helped just like throughout the series. I always knew I could trust you because from day one, you were there, you had my back, you were so giving as a scene partner. We surprised each other. We like, I wasn't looking for love, but kind of find it. Find support, find something that feels tangible. And it ends up becoming like, I don't think Archie could have made it the way that he did without having Rock by his side, without having the one thing that felt consistent, that he could come home to, that was going to love him unconditionally, no matter the color of his skin. And very similar for Rock, it's like someone who's going to love him for all of the things he is, the trauma that he comes from, and like just kind of cater to that and be like medicine for him, kind of, really, because it is, he knows that he's in a toxic situation with Henry, his agent, but it's like, he also knows that's the only way he's going to become the huge star that Archie sees him to be. Which I just think ultimately is beautiful and fun and made it so exciting. I think that's the one relationship in the series that we get to watch like from beginning to end. We get to watch it form and kind of see the things that they go through and then how they come out on the other side. I think something that's really brilliant with our show is we are beginning, we're taking an opportunity to show the world what representation looks like. We're showing them women in power. We're showing them successful Black people, talented Black people. We're showing them the queer community rising, taking a chance and a risk on those groups and marginalized groups of people. I think just for me and my experience of being an actor and an artist is just kind of wondering, like, how big can you dream? I think people have asked me, like, is this a dream come true? And I'm like, absolutely. I don't even know if young Jeremy dreamed this big. My TV debut would be as great as it was with the Ryan Murphy, on a huge network. Like, I just wanted to make it on TV, and maybe that was in the background, or like it didn't, I hadn't dreamed, I hadn't created that vision for myself, but I just know that there's gonna be, and hopefully there's someone out there that is going to see the show, see the representation on the show, and feel kind of seen and heard and know that there is something tangible out there for them to get. that they too can dream that can become a dream, like a real dream, something that is tangible.
And in an ironic way, you're having an Archie moment now. You know, you're having the Archie moment in Los Angeles. So it's exciting to watch, you know. And I mean, not only touching on what you said, it's like not only is it a great, it's a healthy form of escapism, I think, watching the show, but it also is like it's a commentary on the abuse of power, and even in the industry itself, in the entertainment, in everything, there's always, unfortunately, probably going to be an abuse of power. You know, it's okay to be who you are, no matter what anyone is telling you. You know, so
it's like stand in your truth, stand in all that you are, and the power of people that are in those power positions. If they take a chance and a risk on something different, the impact that one decision can have on a group of people and or the world and or the industry. You know what I mean? I think we challenge that. Low key, it kind of hits that our show is coming out during this time, because I do feel like it's almost like the opposite of the Hollywood, in the sense of like we were gonna have a premiere and be doing press and it was gonna be so extra in the best way. But now we get to like just put the show out and let people like find it and discover it on its own and experience what they're going to experience. Like I feel like we're still talking about it, but it's less forced. And I also think it's like you said, it's a hopeful, inspiring story. So, I mean, I know you've seen it, but are you going to watch it again? Like, what's your vibe?
What's your vibe? Are you going to watch it again? I know you've seen it, but...
I think what I'm going to do, if I were to set up the perfect date or the perfect moment for anyone out there, I would recommend popping a little popcorn.
Pop that pop.
Pop that pop. Make it pop. Some great snacks, some quarantine chips or a little candy, and like go on this journey with us. I think it's like you get a little bit of history, you get a little camp funds.
Maybe a little Ben and Jerry's.
Go and see it. Go get inspired. Go root for Archie and Rock.
Dreamland.
Team JP in the house.
JPs are here. What are you doing? Oh wow. That's what I'm talking about. We want that type of energy, but in your binge watching.